Goodness gracious me, oh my, welcome back, folks. This is day 9, doing the third game of a very extra special private in-house Blizzard tournament with Davey, aka David Kim, one of the balance designers on StarCraft 2, against a guy named Gnome, who, is not playing Zerg. Oh, Gnome actually, I guess, is a random player as well. He spawned Zerg the first 2 games, lost the first, won the second, and here he is as the Terran pieces in the right position. Davey, of course, well known for being an ultra tip-top, Mega Gosu, mad baller, neck snappingly, Tiger Woods fist pumpingly, Mike Tyson ear bitingly good random player. Is Zerg this game. So he is now scouting with his Overlord through the center of the map. As expected. Gnome building that first supply depot next to his main. Pretty common because on this map, this choke is so wide that generally you do a 3 large structure wall off, a starport, a factory, and a barracks. But it looks like Gnome just saying wall offs are for losers and building a barracks directly in his main with just enough space for an add-on there. He's going to be quite surprised to find that his opponent is the one race he does want to wall in against as Baneling busts or perhaps Baneling bursts for the ultra grammatical. Those types of plays are extremely potent on this map. It does look like we see Gnome sending out a relatively early scout just to take a little poke and prod and see what his opponent's doing. And there's the hatch going down for Davey, a 14 hatch, very common on this map, almost impossible to stop. And whenever it does go down, there's very little ways to threaten it. There's no cliffs on the back edge. This is tucked away behind this choke point. Very, very safe expo. Looks like Davey also investing in a couple of extra drones. Again, the distances are so gigantic. Oh my god! Davey hates workers. It's kind of funny because almost every player just decides to scout through the middle like it's nothing, and Davey always just bam selects everything for the click and kill. There's the gas and spawning pool going down for Davey. It looks like Gnome is going to now begin the longest journey ever. He's going to bunker rush, but he's going to have to take these Marines, put him on a sled led by some dogs, and head across a treacherous 1,000-mile journey just to get to his opponent's base. This Marine is going to be huffing and puffing for quite some time, but you know what? Gnome has commitment. He hangs in there. That is why he is currently tied 1-1 with one of the balance designers and one of the top players on the ladder for StarCraft 2. Davey now building an Overlord, now having to save up Larva because he sees that there's a little bit of a bunker rush going on. Oh my goodness. He wants to try to pick off that SCV, but it was not quite moving to the other side. Drone mutinying for a little bit and not even participating in the whack-in action. And there's the drone out. Will he be able to pick off the SCV in time? Oh, he is not, and it looks like that bunker is about 75% completion. He's going to try to micro this around. Can he end up picking off that SCV in time? He can. He's not doing it, though. Oh, he lets it finish, and the bunker is down, but there are 10 Zerglings underway. So at the very least, Gnome gets the moral victory, and it looks like Davey is just going to regroup and then proceed to do the little surround town and just take this bunker down. There's the hatch building a queen. The Zerglings now surrounding it. Looks like Davey did not invest in the fast Zergling speed, perhaps in the way that he intended, because he devoted all his resources to building those Zerglings to defend that bunker rush. But now Gnome is in a quite awkward position, as he did not wall in. So he is doing this semi-wall off, or in other words, he's saying, hey, if you want to attack these Marines, you are guaranteed to corner them, because there are depots and barracks to wall them off. Okay, no, it looks like Gnome is retreating everything for now and investing in a starport. Interesting to see if he will be going for the more typical Banshee or perhaps for the more kick-ass and unorthodox mass Viking play. A little treat that we haven't got the chance to see in a little while. Davey now advancing forward with those early Zerglings. There's the Zergling speed going down, very delayed by that bunker rush. Poking in, going to be able to see absolutely everything, but they're going to encounter some Marines and a Hellion. It looks like these Zerglings will end up pulling back. Very interesting play from Gnome, especially the way he is playing off having no wall in. There's the starport finishing up now. No use has been made of it. Just drones and Zergling speed coming out right now for Davey. As usual, Davey's been pretty good about continuing to use these queens. Look at that, 4 energy, keeping that very low. And indeed, yes, it looks like he will be going for a Banshee play. Could go for a Raven, but that's just so unlikely. I'm going to go ahead and say that there's a 100% chance he won't do that, just so I look cool when I'm inevitably right. A lot of Hellions and Marines being made by Gnome. Ordinarily, this is kind of a weak play, but on this map, because there's so much space here, very unlikely to see a lot of Spine Crawlers go down. down, it's generally going to be just Zerglings. So that means that this little push from Gnome can do a substantial amount of damage, and Cloaked Banshee coming up from Gnome, putting a ton of pressure on Davey right at the outset. But Davey, will he even have the lair up in time? Ooh, it's going to be close. That lair just now started. Davey is putting everything at the front of his base. He just doesn't want to die to this huge push of Hellions and Marines, and I think Gnome's doing the smartest thing possible, just hanging out by the Xel'Naga Watchtower, because any single time that Davey does send out a Zergling to scout his opponent, he's going to see a whole army outside the front, and at the very least that's going to put a lot of pressure on Davey. And in other words, it's going to make Davey build Zerglings instead of any sort of drones, instead of any sort of anti-air. And there's the Baneling Nest coming out to deal with this push, but it's not going to be there in time. Here comes the first set of Hellions. Very nice lineup on those Zerglings, but oh, Gnome gets himself cut off. Oh gosh, Gnome. Oh no. Oh, ugh. Getting totally surrounded by Zerglings in the most awkward possible way. And now Davey says, hey, I recall a base being over here. Maybe I'll go kill that base. This Bunker now defending on the back side, really having to fall back pretty significantly, but the Banshee is almost finished. Cloak is done right now, trying to poke around to see if there's another Banshee out on the field, and it looks like that is the only one. Gonna have to do some serious clustering action, especially with the Banelings coming up. Oh, that's so awesome. But here comes the Banshee into the main, and it's going to be able to do some serious damage. Is there any anti-air other than these queens? It doesn't look like it. Davey actually just spent all of his gas on Banelings, so he doesn't even have gas for an Overseer. No way! Oh my gosh, here comes the Crunch. Zerglings from the left, Banelings from below. Oh my gosh! It's super effective! The Banelings killing off everything that Gnome has. Gnome is going all in on bunkers. But it does look like he has this Banshee out. There's actually no Overseers, because again, all the gas was devoted to those Banelings, so that Queen is going to be taken out, and it falls. And it looks like Banshee's out right now. It looks like Gnome, lift your command center, Gnome! Lift it! Lift the command center! He finally decides to lift it. He's going to have to retreat to the island if he wants to be able to hang in there, but it looks like these Banshees are doing quite a bit of work. Now the Banshee is here at the natural expansion. Are there any queens out on the map at all? Oh my gosh, there's no queens out? Are you kidding me? No, oh my god, there's one queen, two queens out right now, but they're cut apart, so that means this double Banshee play will be able to do a lot of damage. The Zerglings now trying to find anything they can to do damage, but oh my gosh, the Banshee's now there to be able to keep that alive from the Zerglings, and there's a little bit of control micro. Very nice, manages to keep the Banshee alive. The Zerglings kill off everything except two SCVs, but it looks like he has a lot queued up, and this one lone Banshee is doing so much damage, but the Evolution Chamber is getting close to finish. If he can get one Spore Crawler out, he can use the Queen's range to keep himself alive, but there are a lot of Banshees still coming out because Gnome had the convenient lack of any kind of macro. He has a lot of money saved up despite having 0 workers. And there's a Spore Colony's going down, but he cancels one, and this one's at about 60% completion, but I don't know if it'll be up in time. Are you serious? He cancels the Spore Colony. Oh my gosh, the Banshee. Oh my god, there's another Banshee coming in. He's trying to build another Spore Colony, but he has just enough gas to be able to build an Overseer. And there's the Queen and the Cloak. And he's sending more Zerglings in, trying to pick off anything he can in the good game. Oh my god, Davey. Davey. Oh, despite killing all the Banelings. Oh, and the Banshees. And the Banshees. Oh. Holy cow, let's go into game 4.